How did you end up where you are today? Who was the individual? In my case, I always give credit to Mr. Hard. Happened to be my 5th and 6th grade math teacher. And when I was heading from 6th grade to 7th grade and leaving elementary school to that big, scary middle school, that was a junior high in my day, Mr. Hard sent a note home to my mom. And it just so happens that my father has an 8th grade education and was a Depression child, and my mother has a high school education and is a first-generation immigrant, so English is her second language. And I happen to be the youngest of 12, 2 boys and 10 girls. And Mr. Hart said to my mother, whose checkbook I balanced, "Jennifer's really good in math. You should encourage her." So no matter what happened and how bad I did in calculus, because it was an 8 o'clock class in college, and who really goes to those? I was good in math because Mr. Hard told me I was good in math, followed by mom and dad. And what we know is if we expose them to manufacturing as a career, it makes a difference. And in this case, this is the results, our national results for Manufacturing Day last year, focused on the educators. How many students does a teacher touch? Yet in the end, if they don't understand how you use math every single day, they're going to have an unconscious bias about what it means and what it takes. Yet 88% that went through facilities across the country understand the jobs in their community. Then in the end, we got a quality problem. And I'm going to come back to being a passive investor in a $600 billion public education system, which is incredibly complex, and I fully agree we got a long way to go before we can fix the systems we have. But blowing it up and setting it to the side is not acceptable when it's the reality of what we have. And we've got one choice, and that's to figure out how we engage, how we effectively communicate what it takes to be successful in what is the most prosperous segments of this nation's economy, and how you get it. Because I'll come back to, not only do I know every open job is costing you 11% of lost earnings, every bad hire is 1.5 times compensation. You need to be active. You need to be engaged in FIRST robotics. You need to be using industry certifications as part of that market signal. Because the IT industry does it, and the healthcare industry does it, and we don't. Yet industry spent millions of dollars creating standards, like the certified production technician, for our frontline entry-level workers who, trust me, I talk to a lot of hiring managers, and if they show up on time, drug-free, know something about health and safety, the basics of material sciences, man, we'll take it from there because they have an interest in making something. So what's your job? When you walk out the door today, whether hiring is your responsibility or not is not an excuse to not be engaged. First and foremost, you got to tell your story. We are only as strong as the least happy person in our company. And the people that should be talking about our brand, that should be the ambassadors, are the 12 million employed in manufacturing today. Whether they're women or moms and dads engaged in PTA or veterans. We're at the point where there is an element of retail to this. If you think about professional sports, they got a farm team. The recruiters for that farm team walk in your door every single day. And they're the ones that should say, here's what good looks like. You need to mobilize them and empower them to tell their story. And then in the end, you need to look at the hiring systems that are in place. Back to that gig economy. There is no silver bullet to this. Every one of you will be successful because you got a bunch of tools from which you can pull forward your solutions. Whether it's using industry certifications, starting internships, I have a lot of internships on the professional side and very few on the production side. Yet 84% can't find people. Get up, get engaged, and get involved. That's my hope. Thank you.